Hey everyone. So I am on Zoom as well as YouTube. I'm going to start recording right now. So, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about, well, in a nutshell, we're going to be talking about trauma, but we're going to be mostly talking about Joni Mitchell and how her lyrics can be so incredibly healing. So, if you're just popping in, I'm also on Zoom as well, holding a workshop. And I thought it would be great to be live here as well, because I want as many people as possible to be able to dive into the beautiful healing that Joni Mitchell's lyrics have. If you're unfamiliar with Joni Mitchell, which I can't imagine that to be possible, but one of her most beautiful songs to me is Both Sides Now. So let's just dive in and start talking about healing trauma, because that is what this entire workshop is all about. So I want you to know that for those of you who are on the Zoom already, you already know that you have the workbook. If you don't have the workbook, you don't need the workbook. I'm going to be going through it, but you can just hop on my email list. If you hop on my email list within the hour after this workshop, tomorrow I'm going to be sending this out. And if you see this at any point and you want this workbook, just email me. Just hop over to my website, contact me, and get the workbook. Not a big deal. So, first, let's look at what trauma really is all about. Okay, so let me just go past here. We're going past the trauma recovery, reflection. I want you to reflect upon, and this is why I have these separate so that I can actually hold them up for you. I want you to think about your past. What is something that you had to deal with in your past, or maybe it's in your present right now? Have you had betrayal? Did you have childhood trauma? Have you had to deal with a narcissist or someone that you think might be a narcissist? Where are you sitting in all of that? And I want you to really reflect on that. Where do you feel your main trauma has been? Where do you feel your sense of hurt, your emptiness, your pain? Where do you really think it's coming from? Now, a lot of times I hear people say, well, it's coming from the narcissist that I'm with or the narcissist that I can't stop thinking about. But really, okay, let's dive a little deeper. Was there someone in your life before the narcissist that really hurt you? Did you have a parent that criticized you, put you down, neglected you? Did you have a parent who maybe was a narcissist themselves? And so, when did this pain, when did the wound really begin? And really, are some of the items and situations and people after that, are they really just salt in the wound? Because a lot of times that's what I find with my clients, that and in the past years, decades, that's what I have found, that really there was something else going on. So I want to talk a little bit about the different types of trauma. So again, if you grab the workbook, you can just contact me on my website to get this workbook. If you are listening on YouTube, if you're on Zoom, you probably already have this or you have it in your email. So I have just a little outline here of the different types of trauma. I'm going to go through it really quickly because I don't like when people just read the PowerPoint, and this is not a PowerPoint, but you get what I'm saying. So physical, financial, emotional, childhood, collective, verbal. A lot of people don't understand the collective. Collective would be discrimination, or maybe you're in a workplace and your boss is just horrible to everyone. It's really where a group is being just ridden and you just can't get rid of that pain. Sometimes it's a family. Just imagine there's a lot of children in the house, and maybe dad and the children are all being abused or collectively attacked by mom or a grandmother or a grandfather. So that's what I mean by collective. Financial, a lot of people don't understand that there's so many ways that someone can financially harm you. It can be through stealing, it can be through hiding money, it could be through abusing money, it can be through um, little nickel and dime purchases that always seem to keep you in debt all of the time. So that's what I mean by financial, because a lot of people don't know a whole lot about financial abuse. So the reason why we're going into this, and then we're going to get into the music and the lyrics, is I want you to really get in touch with some of the pain that you might have had. So understanding trauma, when you get this, you're going to grab this, and then you're going to immediately go to, I have Joni's music and art here. Joni's music, or any music that you like, is so healing. And the wheel that I have here is emotional release, validation, catharsis, distract and relax, connect and power, and resilience building. So I want to go a little bit more deeply into this. And I want you to really think about where you are in your pain and your healing. Maybe you're on a healing journey. Where are you in this? And what can you derive from this? Because your pain is going to be very specific. I know a lot of people talk about generalizing narcissists as an example. And it's almost like, oh, all of us have the same experience, but it's not true. There are so many different types of experiences when we have narcissistic abuse or parental abuse or financial abuse. The experience is very individual, and you cannot heal it with some giant, paintbrush of a band-aid where, okay, now here's the thing. Everyone do box breathing and we're all going to be better. It doesn't work that way. We're all very individual, and that's why I want you to take some inventory of some of these ways that you might be healing. So, one thing is emotional release. Emotional release is having a good cry. Sometimes people just need to talk to someone and be able to vent it out. A total unbiased person. It can't be someone that's saying, yeah, they're bad. Yeah, they're horrible. Just being able to release. The other area is validation. Validation is a little bit different, and you can have validation. And a lot of these you're going to find if you go to therapy, these are going to sound really familiar to you. Validation is affirming that your pain is legitimate, that you're not in some kind of a space where you're just having this random pain and it's horrible, but so what? So, this is the affirmation, the validation that what you're feeling is valid, and you shouldn't have to go through this. And the pain that you had as a child, you shouldn't have had to have that. It shouldn't have been something that you had to experience. So, that's the validation. Catharsis. When have you felt catharsis? So, if you're not familiar with catharsis, this is the crying. Also, this is, someone who journals a lot. That's catharsis. Someone who maybe works out a lot. That's their thing that they do. A lot of people say things like, oh, shopping therapy or this therapy, that therapy. It's the thing that you do that helps you to release in some way. Now, these items can also be distraction as well, which we're going to get into. So, distraction is a temporary relief. So, if you have a good cry, or if you go for a jog, or you write in your journal, but you're not quite processing, you'll feel the need to write in the journal over and over again. So, if you're in any kind of a 12-step program where there's a lot of journaling and a lot of self reflecting, that's why. It's because we can't just journal once or twice and think that we're going to be all better. It is where we have to really do the work, get the work in. And it's something where we have to see the work is not a chore, but a gift that we're giving ourselves. So think about when you are distracting or in catharsis and how that is helping you to heal. You have to make sure when you journal that you're not just journaling like this happened today and very topical and I felt this way, that way, but you're not really processing how you're going to make a change tomorrow. Because if not, then what you're practicing is rumination. You're just practicing cycling, and that's not the same as journaling for healing. You have to make sure about that. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is a lot of people that talk about journaling don't bring that topic up, that you can't just journal and journal and journal something quite negative and expect that you're going to have a positive result. Lastly, connection and resilience. Connection and resilience are so important. So we can connect to music, we can connect to people, we can connect to art in any way at all. And that connection helps to also validate the beauty in us as we connect to the beauty outside of us. And resilience is our ability to move forward and to bounce back and to not get stuck in these cycles, to open new doors and new opportunities. So this is where we're going to get now into Joni Mitchell's beautiful lyrics. And I just want to state here that I already have approval from Joni Mitchell's office to have this workshop and to talk about her lyrics and so forth. And I'm so incredibly grateful because Joni Mitchell is such an icon. And to have her office's support for this workshop, I can't even tell you. I'm very moved by it. So I want to first talk about the ACEs. So this is the adverse childhood events, and they are usually in groups. So these are where you might have one of the ACEs, a point system would be incarceration, or a parent who was an addict, or there was divorce, or as a child you observed some kind of abuse, even if you didn't directly have that abuse. So you would give yourself a check mark with this childhood ACEs grouping, this sort of traumatic event uh, basically checklist. And so the more you have on it, the more you're apt to either repeat patterns or have illness when you get older. So a lot of times you can see the correlation between a really rocky childhood and then later in life health issues. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is the more you focus on working on yourself and working through the pain, you're going to find that you become healthier, or that you overcome some of the things that everyone else in your family seems to genetically have. It's because you have been working on yourself. So, this is why I wanted to really do this with music, because I think music is accessible to almost anyone. And especially for those of you who are on YouTube, you know this music's all over YouTube. So, I want you to now, we're going to go into song analysis and sharing. And there were quite a few people who really gave some beautiful feedback who are on Zoom right now. And I want to go into that. Now, I'm not going to be reading all of the lyrics of every song, but I want to go a little bit into, and if you get the workbook, you're going to have all of this for yourself and be able to go over it with a little bit more intimacy and a little bit more caring for yourself. So this is Both Sides Now, the lyrics. And so with Both Sides Now, we have this beautiful song, and you can even pause me, go listen to it and come back here, and you'll pick up, I believe, if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to pick up right here. Or you can just wait till afterwards. But this is such a beautiful song, and I wanted to go over some of the lyrics and how they can actually be very cathartic and healing, excuse me. So, bows and flows of angel hair, ice cream castles in the air. These evocative images suggest a sense of wonder and whimsy. In the context of trauma healing, this line can symbolize the restoration of childlike innocence and the rediscovery of beauty and joy. The next line, and feathers, canyons everywhere, I've looked at clouds that way. Here, Mitchell captures the idea of viewing the world through the eyes of imagination. In healing, it signifies the importance of reframing one's perspective, finding new ways to interpret past experiences, and seeking hope and inspiration. Here's the next line that I love. And I'm not doing, there's just some. I'm not going to go through all of them right now. You can get the workbook, but let me just go through, and the workbook's free, by the way. I'm just going to go through a couple of them. But now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So this is a shift from the beauty of clouds to the obstruction, and it mirrors the emotional challenges of trauma survivors, right? So I'm a trauma survivor, and many of you are. So here we are in this one space where it's beautiful, right? Things are beautiful, trauma happens, and now it's different. We don't look at life the same way at all. Childhood innocence might be lost. We don't trust as much. There's just a lot going on. So that's where this is really important. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions I recall. Mitchell's recognition of viewing clouds from both sides resonates with the duality of trauma recovery. Healing often involves confronting painful memories while striving to find the silver lining and regain a sense of wholeness. And then she says, I really don't know clouds at all. This refrain acknowledges the complexity and understanding and navigating trauma, right? Healing often involves accepting that some aspects of the experience may forever remain mysterious or unresolved. So, how many times, especially if you've been with a narcissist, do you sit there and you go, I don't understand them? And this is why videos on narcissism are so popular because people are striving to understand how can the narcissist do this? But the answer is you're never going to understand it because you're a sane person. You're not a person that would behave like a narcissist. You will never be able to put yourself in the shoes of someone who is very hateful and very selfish because you're not that person. So it's like, I really don't know clouds at all. I really don't know people at all. I thought I knew people, but look what happened in that relationship. Or I thought that parents were supposed to be loving, but look what happened. Or I thought that marriage was supposed to be forever, but now I'm getting divorced. So that's what trauma or crisis does to us. It makes us look like that our glasses are so cloudy that we couldn't possibly see what is right in front of us. So there's more to it. There's more to this, but I want to go on because other people had uh, added some lyrics, and I want to go through them. So this is from. Let me see here. We have so this is both sides now. Now we're going to go into another song. Okay. This is a lyric analysis of Joni Mitchell's A Case of You. And the lyrics that someone sent in, and I'm not using any names, not using any names here. So the lyrics are just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. So Mitchell's A Case of You is a song filled with reflective lyrics that touch on love, vulnerability, and human condition. They delve into specific lines. Excuse me, let's delve into specific lines. Sorry about that. Just before our love got lost, you said. So this line captures a moment of impending change in a romantic relationship. It signifies a critical juncture where the connection between two people risks fading or transforming. In healing, it represents a significant turning point in one's life. Then she also says, I'm as constant as a northern star. And so she's really saying that this line can be a reminder that the enduring aspects of oneself, even in the face of challenges, is going to be there. That you're going to be a healing journey yourself. So I'm as constant as a northern star. If I'm someone who's traumatized and I'm connecting to that line, it's going to be, you know what? I'm traumatized. You were a narcissist or you were a bad parent or whatever, but I am my own guiding star. I am going to survive. And it's just is it's just a beautiful line, but it changes a little bit here. Constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. This is a sense of vulnerability and detachment. This is where the speaker, feeling lost in the metaphorical darkness of trauma, and now I'm not saying that Joni has said this. I'm saying if you're just jumping in here on YouTube, I'm saying that we are analyzing this through the lens of trauma. So I'm not stating that this is what Joni Mitchell has stated. This is how we are analyzing it as trauma survivors, as people who have been heartbroken. So this act may signify a coping mechanism or a retreat from the moment's intensity. In terms of healing, this line acknowledges the complexity of emotional responses to challenging situations, and it highlights the importance of self care and seeking support. What do I mean by that? Am I asking you to go to a bar? No, I'm not saying that the bar is a spot that I want you to go for healing. What I'm saying is, she's saying in the lyrics, if you want me, I'll be at the bar. So in the lyrics, it's sort of like, hey, if you want me, I'm going to be where I need to be. So as a trauma survivor, as someone who has overcome heartbreak, perhaps a rough childhood, a very abusive childhood, this is where we are saying, you know what? If you want me, I'm going to be on my healing path. If you want me, I'm going to be making a smoothie. If you want me, I'm going to be at therapy. Join me. It's that kind of an attitude. Okay. So, um, here's another one. No acid rain, love without pain, no hungry bellies, impossible, impossible dreamer. So this one is interesting because this goes into environmental concerns, desire for love and connection, social justice, idealism, realism. The repeated words impossible recognizes the difficulty in achieving these dreams, but also underscores the importance of holding on to idealistic aspirations, even in the face of challenge. So, okay, how do we connect this into being a trauma survivor? How do we connect this? And so for me, how this is a connection is we are saying, okay, yeah, things seem impossible. I had this horrible crisis that happened, but now, um, the nature of life is that I'm still going to have hope. So things might seem impossible, things like seem like a struggle, but I'm going to have hope. I'm going to, because I know that things seem impossible, but there's always something else. And when things seem impossible, that's a challenge, that's not a block. And so that's how I feel for us when we're looking at a song like this, Impossible Dreamer, that we can that we can tap into this beautiful area of really having hope. And I'm kind of stammering there a little bit because I know that when you are in trauma, it's hard to have hope. But if you can conjure up for a minute, feel the pain of this song, connect with the pain, and then connect with the hope. Sometimes when we're in trauma, we have to just connect with the pain first. I know a lot of people, if you've been wronged by a narcissist or you had these parents that were cruel to you or anyone that really hurt you, it's so easy to go into this place of, I just want to heal. Give me the band aid, give me the magic wand, give me the thing that's going to help me to heal. I don't want to feel this pain, or I don't want to be numb anymore. I want to feel love. I deserve love, right? Like, that's what I deserve. And so, yeah, you do. But you have to get in touch with the pain. What did the pain take away from you so that you know what you need back in your life? So, here's another lyric from Joni Mitchell's Amelia, In Dreams We Fly. The line In Dreams We Fly from Joni Mitchell's song Amelia encapsulates a sense of liberation and escape from the constraints of reality. Similar to the last one, right? Let's explore this a little bit more. Freedom and escapism. In Dreams We Fly conveys a sense of freedom and transcendence that often accompanies dreams and imagination. And it suggests that the realm of dreams, one can soar above earthly limitations, such as the limitation of being in pain, of being stuck in a relationship or a situation where we just feel like we can't get out. And so, if we want to continue to look at this, we can even think of Amelia Earhart in the context of the song. It's interpreted as a reference to the pioneering Amelia Earhart. And the line In Dreams We Fly may allude to her adventurous spirit. It can also be escaping the mundane reality that sometimes we have when we've been traumatized. Sometimes when we've been traumatized, it's like everything seems pointless. And so this is In Dreams We Fly. It's like, come on, knock, knock, knock. You need to love again. You need to live again. You need to experience. You need to put your hands in the dirt, in the mud, and stand in the rain and do all of these things. You need to really live again. And so that's where that is something that I think is just absolutely beautiful and important. So right now, I didn't go into all of the lyrics. If you want the workbook, all you have to do is go on my website and email me, and I will have that there. And what I might even do is I might put all of this into a blog and then put the file right into the blog. But for now, as it stands, just email me and I'll just send you the workbook. The workbook is more for you to follow along and dive into the music. This workshop does not do her music justice at all. You have to sit and listen to the music. That's all about touching and touch the places in you that you haven't touched in a long time emotionally. and allow that to happen through Joni Mitchell's music. Allow that to happen in a way that you can dive within and that you can experience that yourself. So for me right now, I just want to go through a little bit more of both sides now. And the reason why I want to do that is because it's such a beautiful, beautiful song. Okay. So I'm just going to read the first kind of stanza area here. Rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere looked at clouds that way. But now they only block the sun. They rain and they snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. Think of that as trauma. Trauma got in my way. I could have done this, I could have done that, but I didn't do it because I was traumatized. I could have went for that job that I wanted, but I didn't believe in myself. I could have went for that love that I wanted, but I held back because of the trauma. So that's how I'm reading into this, okay? I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way that you feel. As every fairy tale comes real, I've looked at love that way. So, on that, I'm going to be back here on YouTube in about 5 minutes with a quick workshop on financial infidelity. And for those of you on Zoom, we're going to be connecting on email. Let's talk about this. Let's go a little bit deeper. And if you have any questions or if this hit you any kind of way, I will give you a free uh, phone call, email, whatever it is you want. So thank you so much. And I want you to have a great day.